Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another one of my videos on my Highlander hybrid. I'm just gonna do this video on just MPGs on hybrid itself. Okay, how do I explain something? How do I explain this with regarding the MPGs on hybrids? This is the first hybrid I've had. I've had this for 6 months already. My thoughts on hybrids previous to getting it was a lot different from what I know about hybrids after I got this car. I always thought, for the most part, hybrids. My assumption was, as long as the battery is full, it'll just run on the battery, regardless of what speed it's going. It'll just run on the battery until it gets low. Then the engine, the gas engine, kicks on. But that's not the truth. That's not the case. Basically, what happens is the gas engine will kick on if you're going above. If you're going above, I don't know, like 10 miles per hour or whatever, it will kick on every single time if you're driving above 10 miles per hour. Okay. Now, the only time, the whole battery thing versus the engine kicking on is when you're idling, when you're not moving at all, when you're idling. Well, idling means for hybrid, in hybrid circumstances, mean the car is just sitting, or it's sitting in traffic, or you got your foot on the brake, etc., etc. In those situations, it relies on the battery. If the battery is low, the engine kicks on. It doesn't charge the battery up all the way. It charges the battery up to a certain point, then it goes off, and then it goes. So basically, that's the way hybrids work versus how I thought they would work. But the MPGs, originally, I had thought maybe the MPGs would be consistent. The computer would take into account idling versus drives, idling versus drives. It would be great. I don't know if current technology, this is a 2010, I don't know if current technology hybrid MPG calculations actually take into account just driving the car, because it doesn't on the 2010 Highlander hybrid. It doesn't. What it does, it takes into account every time the engine goes on. So it takes into account if you're sitting for like 3 hours, your MPG will go down. All right. If you leave your car sitting, if all you do is just drive your car from point A to point B, from point C to point D, that's all you're driving, you should be getting consistently whatever it is. If you don't have the AC on, that's another point I'm going to get across. But AC does cut into the MPG quite a bit, particularly if you're idling with the AC on. All right. So basically, during the winter, now I actually did reset this because I had issues with my tire pressure sensor. I reset it, so it's not actually 2.7, but it's around 12. It's around 9. Now it's not actually around 12 or 9. I actually do idle quite a bit. I use this car for a lot of idling, like hours at a time. All right. So basically, that eats into the MPG. Now, over the winter, for whatever reason, I know a lot of people don't talk about, when they talk about saving gas when it comes to hybrids, getting the most MPG out of a hybrid. Normally, when they talk about that, these discussions keep on going, leading towards, winter time, when the car has to turn on to heat up the car, and the engine has to turn on because it gets the heating from the car is gotten from the radiator fluid that goes to the heater core, etc., etc. Now, from my own personal experiences, as far as having this car, I've had this car since December, I think, and throughout a couple months, 3 or 4 months during the winter, I've drove, you know, my MPG was around 21, 22, 21, 22, gone as far as 23, 24. Now, I didn't idle as much as I do now over the summer, but when I was driving normally, it was around 22, 23, 24. And the you know, the amount of heat really didn't affect the MPG all that much. I was getting the highest MPG that I've gotten now. I have no complaints about the hybrids. I love from my experiences with this car so far. As far as hybrids, I prefer hybrids at this point. But I will say that if you guys are idling in your car a lot with the AC on in the summertime, this car is supposed to get around 25, 27, somewhere around there. It's coming up as 12. Now, originally 12 miles per hour, or 12 miles per gallon. Originally I thought that might have been an issue with the car or something, because I was getting a check engine light for the P0430 check engine light for the character converter, O2 sensor, or whatever it is. I still have that issue, but I'm like 99% sure that that's not causing my MPG to go down. That's not affecting my MPG. Is what I'm saying. All right. What's affecting my MPG is idling with AC on, and but that's only what the computer is showing. All right. I am from the gas gauge. I can see that from fill up, I could get about 4 days of usage from normal driving, 4 or 5 days before I actually have to fill up the gas tank. Now, 4 or 5 days before I have to fill up the gas tank, and even regardless of what this shows, this could show 12 miles per gallon, but I'm getting, this is a more correct gauge, because from my own personal experience, own personal experience, this could fluctuate quite a bit. But this tells me, you know, from fill up to empty, how many days I'm getting, and me manually doing that pretty much tells me that it's not really off by that much. If I gotta calculate in idling, AC, all that stuff, if I gotta calculate all that stuff in, it's pretty much the same. Even though instead of 22, it says 12, 9, or whatever. I'm reading this gauge, all right, and calculating in for the AC, for idling, etc., etc. I'm gonna say that, you know, it hasn't been that much of a difference, except that if you're idling for like a couple hours, this thing, you know, obviously it's gonna, I mean, thinking about it, it'll probably calculate it the same way as newer hybrids. I mean, it's got to calculate the MPG as far as how much gas is used, and if your engine is turning on, you know, sporadically within an hour while you're idling, it's gonna eat up gas. Obviously, it's gonna eat up gas. Obviously, it's gonna go lower. Your MPG is gonna go lower. Okay. So this video is pretty much an explanation. Me, you know, trying to explain, you know, the MPGs, the variation in MPGs, I guess, from this to this versus what I get normally during the winter versus, you guys get what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this video. You guys have a comment? You guys have any comment? Now, here's the thing. I will end this by saying, having this car a hybrid, knowing what to expect, or having expectations for a hybrid, I've become, how would I say it? I've become, I wouldn't say a miser, but somebody who's enthusiast is now enthusiast. Is that the right correct word? Who actually looks at MPGs in a way that I haven't in a regular car. Who actually there was a point where I actually tried to get as high of an MPG as possible. So it became like a little contest that I was running, trying to get the best MPG. It was like a game. I'm sure to all you hybrid guys out there, people who have hybrids, hybrid gals, guys, I'm sure that has actually changed your attitude towards it becomes a game where you're trying to get, because you see it, like it's here. There's at least 4 or 5 different screens. It tells you how many MPGs you're getting, etc., etc. I'm sure that plays into, I'm gonna try to get as many miles as I can off of a certain gallon of gas, right, guys? I mean, I'm not the only one who's doing that. I'm sure of that. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Anyway, if you guys have any comments, please leave your comments in the comments section. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. All right, guys. Thanks. Take care.